I got to show you this. If you want to hit longer drives, it's working for me, it's working for my students, and it's a slightly different way of thinking about opening up your shoulders. You're getting your backswings completely wrong, and this is going to really help. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing with these kind of ideas and how they can help you, with some measured details from basically gears from the guys at JD Golf Academy, showing you what real amateurs are doing. It's such a common mistake. I make it as well. But let's show you how to hit drives straight and long. Get on, don't hit the line, not in front of them. Oh, thank God for that. 165 ball, which for me is long, by thinking about the way we're moving our arms and our shoulders, because this is so common. So one of the most common patterns that we see over and over again with amateurs is we see a lot of bend in trail elbow on the backswing, and we see a lot of lead arm moving across people's chests, so getting stuck on their chest, which then can result in quite big arm bends as the trail arm bends a lot, or they just bury the club deep behind them, like me, something I've done for years. Now this is called lead arm abduction, so how much this arm comes across your chest has a big fancy name, and it's something that loads of amateurs struggle with, and the more you tend to do this, the more you tend to bend trail elbow. I do as well. The more you tend to bend trail elbow and get your lead arm abducted, the more you then tend to unbend it, throw it out, and get these actions that you all see. Creating weaker shots through poor club path, poor face control, and just not very good speeds being created by these kind of big angles building up and then dumping them out. Where the pattern we see from tour players over and over and over again is much more calm trail arm bending, way calmer than amateurs. Decent sized torso turns, and the arms much more off their chest. So let's give you a few drills to try and get you to create this better width, this better stretch, whatever we want to call it, less lead arm abduction, less bend of the trail arm, which will help you create more speed. It certainly helped me create more speed. And it will help you get better paths. 170 is my top ball speed. If I really try and open up my shoulders, and if I can strike one here, I start getting up near my top end ball speeds up there at 168. So first port of call for golfers, we need to start thinking about your setup. So posture in particular, and I want you to start thinking about your shoulders, the shoulder blades, the big bits that you feel at the back, how they move, if they're forward or back. I need you, with your trail shoulder, to start opening it up. So we need this shoulder actually feeling like it's going back on the backswing. What we see from lots of golfers as they lean forwards is this shoulder then positions itself forward in the joint, and then you can't really move it back, so you tend to just use your arms to create depth, arms to create any kind of height, and arms to hopefully try and create depth. But it doesn't work, because as soon as you start your downswing, it starts then throwing out this way as you undo these angles, like I said at the beginning. So we need to start feeling about your trail shoulder. Where is it in the socket as you stand? And I want you to feel in your setup that you do give more range of movement by having it as kind of level to back as possible. If we think about this as being set forwards, this level, this back, so almost like chest out, chest in, shoulders in, that's what we want to get rid of, and that's a common problem. Obviously you've got your arms reaching out in front of you, people tend to get their shoulders reaching down out in front of them as well. Then from here, depth is all coming from bends and lead arm abduction, arm across chest, trail arm just bending in close. So we need to start really opening up your shoulders. So feel like your chest, so your chest is popping out a little bit, feel like your trail shoulder is more level with your chest, not leaning forwards. This position is going to allow you to start turning and feel like this is starting to open up, which will now start helping you create this width that we want. Because for most golfers, me included, the more we can get your trail elbow out here, opposed to in here, the more we get the arm, lead arm away from the chest as well, and the more we get the shoulders feeling like they can actually move rather than them being stuck. And again, the backswing happening all from these arms. Just something that's helping me that might be helping you as well if you give it a go. Set yourself up to the ball. I'm just taking my trail hand off. I don't mind this shoulder leaning forward a little bit. This one though, I don't want it too far forward. So I'm trying to put my trail hand onto the club while keeping my chest So out, not letting the shoulder come forward of the chest. So I'm putting my trail hand on as this shoulder feels back. Now from here, I do feel like I can really start to open up those shoulders. Now the next idea that I use, and again could help you to get rid of this arm really abducting across your chest, is I do again, same practicing where I keep my trail hand on last. So I'm going to try and feel like this shoulder's back. But what I do is before I hit some shots, I open up my shoulders. So with the lead hand on and the club not moving, I try and feel like my shoulders run away from my hands. Now if I put my thumbs kind of point it at the target as I do this behind me, and then let the lead hand come up and join that, I can feel how much more room I have across my chest. So my arms aren't all buried in. How much more stretch I have away from the ball with my hands as well. Again, making me feel like I've got more width, more strength to actually create some decent speed. And then the most important thing is I'm creating depth. So if you think about depth in the backswing, club starts out in front of me, it's now in line with me. I need it some depth. I need it going back here somewhat. I don't want to be doing that by just bending my arms across my body. I want that depth coming from the tilts and turns that I put in with my chest. So the more I can get my arms to feel like they're doing less of the depth and get my body really turning it up and back, again more powerful and a much better use of depth, because as I start down I've got a better chance now of getting this club on a better path to hit out to that ball. Because hitting longer is great, but not if it's going further offline. It needs to be worked in with you hitting target as well. So let's place that together. I'm going to put this hand on last if I want it to go, and not by pushing this shoulder way forward. I'm going to open up my chest a little bit in some practice swings and then try and work that in to a strike. Now the last move I have is centered around, say, my right chest. I'm going to try and feel when I get to the top of my backswing that my chest is sticking out this way. So I don't want to get to the top of my backswing and be where I feel like my chest is kind of pointing down here and that I feel that my trail shoulder is kind of hunched over. I want to really open up trail shoulder, get that depth and height, and protrude in my feeling my chest. It's feeling like it's here at the top of the backswing and not here. And that's to do with obviously how my shoulder relates to it. I'm just in my head, I relate more to that chest makes sense, while feeling about this shoulder is actually a little bit harder. So let's show you that as an extreme. If I go here, I'm feeling like, you see, I'm really pushing this out, which pushes this shoulder back, which means I don't need to use much arm bend to get that into a nice position at the top where I've opened up my shoulders to be allowing me to control path and create that speed. With so many golfers going depth through arm bends and lead arm abduction to then rotates and push outs, this is such a good way of you trying to create depth in a more consistent way, a more reliable way that will allow that club path to come on that more reliable path. And not only are you going to get that bigger stretch again, which will create the distance, it's going to help you create club paths for straighter shots. Now, if you want to find out how to hit better shots with your irons while using your body correctly, this video's got some great ideas that might just move this along a little bit further for you.